Welcome back. If you are new here, we are a family that has lived on a boat for the past 10 years, and we're currently in El Salvador. This episode, Lee fixes our generator issue and we make more room in our cockpit. We're an Australian family that set off on an adventure of a lifetime. We hope these little videos make you smile and inspire you to chase your dreams. Subscribe to join us and our travels as we share our life on the sea. Life on Catalpa has been pretty simple these past few weeks. We've been getting on top of boat jobs, and as you know, they are never ending.
Welcome to Catalpa's kitchen. Today, Dad and I are back in the kitchen and we're making steak wraps.
A lot of you have asked about Moritai, and no, we didn't find him. It's been really quiet without him around, and that's taken some getting used to. But the days keep rolling by, and we're learning to appreciate the small things. We haven't moved from where we are, and we'll actually be in El Salvador a little longer as Bella needs to renew her passport, and being overseas, that can take some time. So we'll be here doing what we do.
Alright guys, got a little job this morning. Everyone on the boat hates this big table because we always bump it and it's disgusting. I don't know what it is, but we cannot clean it. It's got to go. Found this one under Bella's bunk bed. We're going to just do a quick modification, have a little table. We don't really need that much space up here. It gets in our road when we're sailing. But at the same time, I still like to be able to put my cup of coffee up there. So we're going to get rid of this and change it over. This is what it looks like now. First part. That hinge has been spot welded, so I might just remove this whole thing. It doesn't really, well, does it? It doesn't really fit our, actually must have come off a wider pedestal by the look of it. We mount it like this, straight onto there. It's going to sit funny like that. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of backing on there so it sits off those bolts, so when it's down it's nice and flat, and then when it comes up it sits in nice and snug there. So I'll offset that a little bit so it sits against that nice, and we'll get that together and we'll have a cuppa. I'm doing it real DIY style here, but I have used one of these for many years. I'm just going to run over a couple of things I've seen over the years, what's happened as far as safety goes. I've got no work boots on. I do have glasses on because I've had crap in my eyes so many times. I don't have PPE, gloves and earmuffs and all that, but what I am going to tell you is what this fella can actually do. This is a battery powered one, so it doesn't have as much kick as a lot of others, but over the years I'll tell you what I've seen happen just quickly. Bit of a safety tip for the day, guys. But the first one is when people are cutting and you cut there like so and you're looking down and then the saw grabs and then it runs and hits you in the leg. I've seen that one happen before, whether it's been arm, leg, whatever, anything in the rotor where it kicks. The other one I've seen, guys, is people tend to use their finger as a bit of a guide. So you can put your finger there and you can run along, and it's a great guide. It sort of works as a guide does. And I've seen fingers go up and get stuck inside here like so, and that's not real nice. And the other common one with this tool is that this guard, how it comes back like so, and I've only got it set shallow at the moment, but this guard, if it doesn't come back and you put it down on the ground while it's still running, it can run around and hit your toes. And so the way to avoid that one is always lay a circular saw on its side like that. Keep your leg out of the way of cutting, and don't put your fingers anywhere near here as a guide, and you'll be right. Yeah, I still have respect for all these tools. Anyway, that's my 2 bobs worth. I'll get back to this table.
Yeah, we downgraded from the size, but this is so much neater and it gives us so much more room, mate. I like it. The old table was so gross.
Super lucky because some people happen to be coming down to El Salvador from the States, so I quickly got on Amazon what I needed. And in this case, there's our old current transformer. This is the one off the generator, so it pretty much shows the load on the generator, and there's the resistor that goes from terminal to terminal. And without that working as a safety feature, the generator doesn't work. For us, we can't make water or charge our batteries. So we've been lucky, we've had rain, enough solar to keep us going. So our lithium batteries and our solar panels keep us going, but it would be nice to top it up a bit. I have turned the inverter off a few nights just to save a few amp hours, but here's our new current transformer. It's slightly different. It still is 50 amp, 50 milliamp current transformer, just a different one. It's a Blue Seas, and this was a Stereo one. This has 2 fixed terminals on it. This has 2 wires, and then, like I say, the resistor went from terminal to terminal. So in this case, I've bought a new packet of resistors. I couldn't buy a single one or a couple, so I think I bought like 100. They're only cheap. And I got the next level up, which is the blue ones. They have a better plus or minus and handle a bit more heat, so I thought they're only like a few dollars, a couple of dollars anyway. And I'm going to have to make my own sort of setup because the resistor floated between the 2 terminals here, and this one, the new one, I've got the Blue Seas one, has 2 wires, so I might just sort of float it somehow on the terminals with this, solder it up. We got the parts anyway, and we got some pastel soap also, because that's what we use on everything. I think Bella's going to grate this down. Now we can run the generator, and we use this for our washing too, so we can not be so smelly and do a few loads of washing. And I've also got a hour meter. So if you're new to the channel, we did have an older motor prior to the one we have, and it was called Frankenstein. It was pretty much held together by nuts and bolts and tie wire, and the motor has been given to a local family that lives on the island opposite to where we are anchored at the moment.
Alright, we gave our old outboard to a family over here, and they're just getting it fixed because as soon as we gave it to them, it worked for one day and then it stopped. So
I kept that thing going for years, come on.
Anyway, there's a mechanic and he's replaced the bottom part of it, so that's what we're doing today.
I just come back to the boat. The guys are fitting the bottom end of the motor ashore over here. I just found impellers and my little service kit I had for it, so I thought I'd go and drop that over to them too. So they got a few spares. Let's go see what they're up to.
So this is Frankenstein, the bottom of Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, look.
This is why we had all these problems.
It's all broken. Because it leaked the oil out and then it was just water.
Held together right till the end though.
Good news, Frankenstein is back in action.
So our new outboard is called Davo, and it's a Mercury 4-stroke, 15 horsepower EFI. I just wanted to keep a tally of the hours, so hence why I bought a little hour meter. It doesn't have an hour meter because we don't have a tacho. It's a tiller steer outboard. I'm going to connect this either internally or externally so I can monitor the hours on it, because we do put a lot of hours on a tender, and it's one part of equipment I like to look after. So our previous one fell apart, and we intend to try and keep this one going for many, many years. Let me give you a rundown on where we are and what the situation is. So our Pagaro generator, 9 kVA generator, stopped working. So it didn't stop working as in the engine mechanically stopped, it stopped giving us power. So a couple of things quickly on that. We use our generator, it's hooked up to make water, so at the moment we can't make water. I've found the problem. The generator starts, stops, does everything a generator should do, but just doesn't produce power. So I sort of troubleshooted on the generator. I can't show you too much, it's in such a small space in there, but I'll show you out here what I can before I take you in there at the end when I install what I'm about to make here. But what happened is this is a current transformer. It's a 50 amp, 50 milliamp current transformer. So this obviously is a broken terminal. This failed. So As a result, in that failing, the job of this current transformer is to have the power go through it, and I suppose it monitors and tells you how much load there is. It's also a safety feature, so if this isn't reading current, it won't allow any current to go through at all. So it's all like a bit of a safety feature. So in this case, this is broken and our generator won't put out power until it knows this is there for a safety measure. It's not going to let us have power. I found one of these in the States. It's a Serio one and it was like $80, but I found this one on Amazon, which is a Blue Seas. I like all Blue Seas stuff. I think it's good gear, and I think it was about $18. So hopefully it works. It should do. They're both 50 amp, 50 milliamp. Hopefully install it and we're back in action. There's also one other component. So we're going to solder this all up and get this installed, and cross our fingers, toes and everything else we can cross, and see if we can get this to produce some power. Inside the generator there's a terminal that would have originally just gone on like this. We know we have this, a female one, inside the generator, and we don't have this option because we have two cables on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the end of our two cables, which is a spade male one, which is just going to go straight in to the female one when I take it inside and hook it all up. Get these ones out of the equation, so they're the two male ones that are inside the generator, and I'll put them out of the road so I don't accidentally crimp those. Okay, so this is just a great example of being self-sufficient on a boat and being able to fix a couple of basic things. I've got the basic tools to do this job, and I believe anyone's kit should have a soldering iron. You don't use it every day, you could just have a $10 Amazon one, but for this instance I need a soldering iron. Some spade connectors, female, male, multiple sizes, whether they're cheap ones or Encore ones, whatever your budget allows. You should have some terminals on your boat and the basic tools to strip and crimp. You know, you can use a knife to strip your wires, or you can have a crimper. You can have a quality crimper, or you can have a cheap crimper. There's definitely cheap options here, but the option to have them at hand is what you're after. And one other thing I didn't mention is this actually had two screws, so it actually fixes to the side of the box inside, where this doesn't actually have a fixing on it at all. Organised it so I can put a zip tie around it and hold it secure. So for us, we're in El Salvador. I couldn't even find a current transformer. We were lucky enough to have a couple in the marina bring these down from the States, or the new one. If I wasn't able to get these guys at the marina to parts for me, I still could have FedExed or DHL'd them down, got the parts and fixed it. But having the basic tools on your boat and a basic knowledge of what's going on to troubleshoot, jobs like this are quite simple. Before I start, I would generally test my resistor and make sure it's working. It should read like 175, 180 ohms. But my voltmeter has packed it in, and I actually had to borrow another voltmeter off another boat to check my existing resistor. So it's a 180 ohm resistor and mine wouldn't read it. I borrowed our friend's resistor and it said 175 ohms, whether it's aged, but there's a plus or minus of 5%, so it was perfect. Reason I tested it is because a resistor has different colored bands, and you can look up charts on that to whatever resistor you need to replace it with, and I just wasn't sure on the colors. That's why I used the voltmeter and done an ohms test on it, so I knew what I was getting. Alright, so I just put a little terminal connector here just to sort of hold it so it's a bit more rigid. There's no need for that, it's not doing anything apart from just supporting it. I've got a resistor across here, I've soldered that on here and here. I put a little bit of heat shrink just over it so if it rubs on anything or does anything. So I'm going to go and put the wire through here now and connect this on, start the generator and see if we have power. Maybe I can just bend that back. What do I do or not? We have power to start with.
Ooh!
It's running. Doesn't mean there's power yet. Takes a minute. It's got to work out whether it wants to give us power or not. Just check and see if I've got it on. My switches are all on.
And I've heard the generator's going. Did he get it going?
Generator is going.
It's running! It's working?
It's working. We got power, baby.
Yay!
We can charge our batteries, make some water, do some washing, and I've been at that thing all day. I've had to pull out the wiring diagram and go from top to bottom on it. Now have a meter that I never even knew existed on our gauge that shows us what percentage of load we're using. Load indicator, and that never worked from day one. Now it does. Pretty good. There's only one little thing I have to order at some stage, and it's the temperature sensor on the exhaust manifold, and that was broken, and I've got to just hunt down a replacement, because what that means, and I've seen it happen in boats before, it happened to our friend in Indonesia. He didn't have his sensor on the exhaust, and he had a plastic exhaust box, which we do, and if your raw water pump sucks something up and it fails, then your alarm should go off, because your exhaust will get quite hot with no water running through, and if it doesn't, then it's just hot air going through and it can melt your exhaust system, especially the exhaust muffler boxes. So that's on the top of the priority list to get.
You have no idea how exciting this is. We are all very smelly. We have smelly clothes, we have dirty bed sheets, we haven't been able to wash our clothes. After Morotai, like we lost Morotai, everything just went downhill. Good job, honey. You're amazing.
That was another video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss when we post. And if you enjoyed, put a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time. Bye.